Hey guys, what's going on? I'm cel-shaded with FreeMMOStation, and this is going to be my review of the early game low-level experience in Firefall. Firefall, if you don't know, it's a MMOFPS. It just released. It's actually really comical, if I could describe it. It's Borderlands 2 meets PlanetSide 2. Alright, so you're introduced, Firefall, meet viewers, viewers meet Firefall, okay.
FreeMMOStation.com.
So, let's talk about this early game experience. So, the footage that you're watching is very early game. I do have higher levels, so I kind of know what I'm doing, and I also have some items that are helping me expedite the process here. You're going to see me using a vehicle, which is, that's the vehicle you get in the $100 Digital Deluxe Edition, and you're also going to see me using flares. These are going to be some tips that I suggest to new players. If you can, as soon as possible, 1, get a vehicle. It's going to help tremendously. 2, you're also going to see me using an advanced frame. This is a battle frame. These are the classes in the game. An advanced battle frame is essentially better than a default frame, okay? So you have these classes, and then you have branches off these classes. The branches, the advanced battle frames, can actually use the abilities of the base frames. So as soon as you can, get these advanced frames. They're not too difficult to get, especially if you spend money. So get one of them. It's just better to use them anyways. They're essentially the base class plus more. So that's why I'm saying it's better. Next, like I said, you're going to see me using flares, and almost the entire gameplay that you're watching is at night. And you're going to see that it actually gets really dark, and lighting does play an effect, comes into effect with the gameplay. So you're going to want things that produce light, like flares, stuff like that. Alright, so anyways, now that we've got the introductions out of the way, let's just talk about what we are doing here. I am going to the job board. I went to the job board and I got a job. This is how you do questing in this game. You don't go to multiple NPCs and pick up multiple quests at the same time. No, everything in this game is dynamic events. Even the quests are actually dynamically evented, as in sometimes people will be in different locations and sometimes things will vary slightly. So they're sort of like procedurally generated in a little bit. It just means like different locations, different things, but the quests basically remain the same, and the same voiceovers and everything. And oh yeah, that's something I need to mention. Voice is a thing. There is voice acting, and some of it is a little bit corny. It honestly is. But some of it is actually really good, and especially when you do the early dungeons, you get a little bit of a taste that there's actually a really nice story to this. And even some of the job board missions that you do actually have like a plot to them, and it's actually pretty cool. You have part 1s, part 2s, and stuff like that. And I have to say that the questing in this game, if you actually listen to it, is pretty good. And since you don't have to read anything, it makes the game really fantastic. There's no pages of scripts or anything that you have to read like World of Warcraft, which can be really annoying and hard to get into. No, you have the voice acting. It's shoved in your face, and like I said, it's a little bit corny sometimes, but hey, it's worth the experience, I honestly think. So anyways, we are going around and we're killing Arane, basically. Arane are these infectious animals. They're all over the place in this low-level zone, Copacabana. And basically, we are just killing these guys. We're following the quest, doing what it says. And quests in this game, one quest normally has multiple parts. Also, what you're going to see me doing is that you're actually going to see me sort of divert from my path, or from my quest, so that I can do these dynamic events. In one part, you're going to see a chosen drop pod drop down. You're going to see me defending some research bots, stuff like that. There are dynamic events, and you're going to want to do these. These dynamic events normally are called Ares missions, and some of them, they'll just say Crash Thumper. Sometimes there's like melding tornadoes. There's all sorts of different environmental stuff that you can do as well. Sometimes there'll be like an earthquake, but that just means there's like a boss monster nearby. It's actually pretty exciting, some of the dynamic events, but they are limited and they are a little bit repetitious. The whole game, in its sense, is repetitious, but for the early game experience, my review is that when you get into this game, it's one of the most open-ended level 1s that you can possibly have. You can do so much. You can thump, you can quest, you follow the plot lines, you can do whatever you want. It's pretty fantastic. You have instant access to lots of mounts. Well, I mean, if you purchase money, of course, you have lots of access to different classes. Again, if you purchase money, level 1 is very open-ended because the game is supposed to be replayable. So I do have higher level classes and I am playing them, but I'm also leveling multiple alts at the same time. And it's absolutely fun and fine to do that. There's lots of different mechanics in place so that it's actually fun. Like thumping, you can actually thump at any level and gain different materials and stuff like that. Thumping it's basically a process that you're gonna see some thumpers through the game play here, but it's basically it's a cylindrical object that you call down from the sky, and it's a drill, and it drills minerals. You also can find different spots and different veins with like 100% iron, or sometimes 50% iron. You want to get as high as possible of the minerals that you want. And then you thump, and the thumping sound actually calls in hordes of monsters. And so while we're doing these stories and these dynamic events, you're going to see people thumping around me, and it's actually just really cool. The whole world feels alive. And I think as a level 1, since you can either go and thump, you can do job board missions, you can go all over the place. And the level 1 zone is actually pretty big, so you can do a lot. What I have to say is that the whole leveling experience from, say, 1 to 25, I'm going to count level 25 as high end, because that's pretty much where that's the halfway point for the game. So that experience is actually, it goes by really quick. Like, you level up pretty quick, I think, and it's sort of over in a flash. And that's why I said this game is really made for replayability. It's made to grind, get high level, do end game, but also level ults. And so one of the mechanics why you would want to do that is that perks, okay? So perks can be switched in and out between classes. Normally, classes can't switch in and out weapons, stuff like that, but you can switch out perks. And so you only get perks by leveling up classes. So if you level up multiple classes, you get perks, and basically you can have higher customization, and you can make any character really OP. Really, and so that's why you would want to do that. Also, it's really fun to just play around with friends level 1, and honestly, just the level 1 experience is great. Thumping is fun, I guess as long as you have your abilities. You get ability, like, what, every 2 levels, every 4 levels? So anyways, at level 8, you have all your abilities for your frame. Potentially, if you have an advanced frame, you have all your abilities for your frame, and then maybe all the abilities for the base frame. So you have lots of abilities to choose from, and basically all the mechanics from level 8 all the way to 25 or even higher are going to be the same. You're going to be doing the same things. You're not going to get any more spells. Like in World of Warcraft, you can get tons and tons and tons of spells, different mounts and everything, and in this game, it pretty much more or less is kind of static from there. But it's still fun, and it's still an open sandbox kind of title, open-ended gameplay, so it just kind of feels good, and that's what matters, right? Like, the gameplay just feels good, and you have this really nice lighting effects, you have all these different things that you can do from, you know, dynamic events. That's just fun, but you can also craft, you can sell items, but pretty much other than that, okay, other than the early game experience, which I think is really, really fun, say 1 through 25, I think it's great. After that, it gets a little bit stale, because there's like 2 endgame bosses, and the dungeons are fun, you know, the story is really nice and everything, and the things that you do in them are really cool too. It's just, it doesn't really have too much of a replay factor, like open-ended stuff does, like the open world. That's more replayable, more fun. Anyways, so, gameplay-wise, you know, early game's really, really fun. Definitely worth a try. Absolutely, try this game, play it for just a little bit. I really think you should play this game for a little bit. You will have a good time. I just don't know if you're going to stick around for endgame, which I don't even think I can say there is endgame yet. The game is totally new, and honestly, I feel like the game came out a little bit early. Like, it probably should have been developed and digested just a little bit longer so that we can get a little bit more polished. But the game is fun, absolutely. There's so much to it, and like I said again, I suggest that you, if you can, get an advanced battle frame. That's going to make your life so much easier and better. Otherwise, you're just going to play a normal frame, grind it to level 40 so that you could purchase another frame, and that's it. I mean, there's really no point into starting and leveling a normal frame otherwise. So that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching, guys. I am having a lot of fun, and next episode will be high-level gameplay and high-level review. So thanks for watching. I'm Skylight Shore with FreeMMOStation. I'll see you again later.